a Greenpoint Williamsburg Public Affairs presentation. This is Neighborhoods Today.
Hello, I'm Nick STEFENIZZI, and welcome to Neighborhoods Today. On June 7, 1967, the Greenpoint flag was raised for the first time. The Greenpoint flag is the only community flag that exists within New York City, New York State, and possibly even the United States. The concept behind the development of this flag was to provide motivation to stabilize and unite community residents of all ethnic backgrounds in harmony under a single banner. That is exactly what has happened, and after 20 years, the flag is still flying. This wonderful community remains united. It contains a marvelous diversity of individuals from varying ethnic backgrounds with their own traditions and customs. But when all is said and done, it is a tightly knit community, working to preserve, protect, and improve its quality of life for now and for the future. And now, let's join our community leaders and residents for the 20th anniversary of the Greenpoint flag.
I'm Rena Marie, and we're on hand for the rededication of the Greenpoint flag in Father Popiełuszko Square, located on Bedford Avenue and Larmer Streets in Greenpoint. This site in itself has special meaning for Greenpoint's Polish community. Father Popiełuszko was a priest who struggled for solidarity and human rights in Poland. And as a result of that struggle, he was murdered in 1984 by 3 Polish secret security officers. This monument behind me symbolizes his fight and desire to keep hope and love for one's nation and community alive. Somehow it seems fitting that today's rededication would be here. 20 years ago today, this community was the recipient of its own flag, and ironically enough, according to one of the 3 gentlemen credited with the idea, it all began as a fluke. One evening in 1967, 3 friends were having a cup of coffee and talking about any of the kind of things any one of us might talk about among friends, but they also talked about Greenpoint community and spirit.
So we had a contest here in Greenpoint, and all the schools, the school children got involved and submitted designs, and we had over 100 designs sent in. The newspaper at that time was the Greenpoint Star, owned by the Long Island Press, and they were very enthusiastic about the whole idea of having this contest, and they had front page the whole thing for many, many weeks. And of course, the editor at that time, McCarthy, he got in touch with Mayor Lindsay, and Mayor Lindsay was enthusiastic about the idea. In fact, when we had the ceremony to raise the flag on this pole here, right in this square, he landed in this park right across the way with a helicopter. He made this dramatic entrance to the ceremonies. And of course, at that time, all the elected officials were here to greet him, and there was a big crowd. The place was jam-packed. It was like a little holiday. We have a program here of presentations and speeches, so I'd better cut it short now and call upon Councilman Abe Gurgis to say a few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite interesting that we're holding this at Father Popiełuszko Square. Some of you may not be aware that this square will be, in the future, one of the places where many of the cultural aspects of Greenpoint will be held in the future. Irene, how much money have we raised? Where's Irene? How much money have we raised so far? Lots of money. But 20 years ago, somebody had a vision. And what was their vision? Their vision really was a symbol of what this community is all about. A community that believes in those in the armed forces that gave their lives for the country, and the children who go to the school and go to the park and go to McCarran Pool. So they decided that they were going to have their own flag. And the first flag, by the way, you're right, Ralph, it's my understanding that this was the first flag of any community group anywhere in the United States. And so I think that a lot of credit here has to be given today, most particularly to Ralph, for not forgetting the 20 years that you designed the flag on. And so what I'm going to do is, on behalf of, I think John is coming down right now. John, right over here. It's hard for him to find the spot from up there. On behalf of all the people of the city of New York, I'm going to take advantage of representing both the mayor and the borough president as well. And I know Borough President Golden would have liked to have been here himself. I'm going to present to you a proclamation which, number one, is a proclamation of the Council of the City of New York commending Greenpoint for the 20 years of this memorial community celebration today, and commending the people of Greenpoint for having the insight, the stability, the heart, and the soul for remaining here and making Greenpoint a better place to live in every day. That's the difference between this community, because you have community people who are concerned. And so to the two of you, we're going to make this presentation. I mean, we ought to get all, I guess all the elected officials ought to do it all jointly, I guess.
When did you say it
Okay.
was working?
Well, you're going to have the other elected officials.
Yeah.
Shall I say something now?
Please. Yeah.
I'd like to welcome all of the illustrious elected officials to this momentous occasion. And as Mr. Carano said, I would like to especially thank Assembly Gurgis for giving us this proclamation today for the anniversary of the 20 years of this flag. 20 years ago, the Greenpoint Civic Council made history. It gave Greenpoint a flag that can boast to be the only flag of its kind in all of the United States. I would like to sincerely thank the Greenpoint Civic Council and Mr. Carano once again for making me part of this very unique history. I am honored to be part of today's rededication. My personal thank you goes to Mr. Frank McDonald, who's not here today, but who's the director of the YMCA, who sought me out and invited me to be part of today's ceremonies. As I look at the community flag, I'm reminded that a flag is a symbol of a people's history. Greenpoint has its place in history. It's the home of the Monitor. In addition, a flag is also a banner. It leads the people into the future. Our flag, our community flag, should keep us mindful to be part of our country's future. 20 years ago, 5 designs were chosen as finalists in the Greenpoint Flag Contest. 4 of them were designed by young people, 1 by an adult. It was the adult who withdrew his design because he wanted one of the children to win. I was one of these children. Children were important to this Greenpointer. In this noble gesture, I think Greenpoint's leaders and citizens must be reminded to nurture her children, give them good schools, make this a good and safe neighborhood to grow in, because it is our children who are our future and Greenpoint's future. Thank you.
That was Ann Candratrino, the winner of the contest for the design submitted that is now the Greenpoint flag that we have in our community. I would like to call upon State Senator Connors to say a few words to the community.
Thank you. Thank you, Ralph. I'm certainly delighted to be here in what has to be one of the nicest communities anywhere, not only in New York, but in the country. And the community that cares, a community of families that cares about the community. I have a resolution here, passed in the Senate and in the Assembly, sponsored by Joe Lenthal and myself, and I'll ask Joe to come up. He's got a copy of it too, and I'll read from it. This is a joint legislative resolution, and it says, whereas the Greenpoint flag of Greenpoint, Brooklyn is an emblem of such honored persuasion, whereas Ralph Carano was the originator of the Greenpoint flag, the first community flag in the United States. The first Greenpoint flag was designed by Anne Kandratino, the granddaughter of Russian immigrants, and flown on June 7, 1967. And whereas the first Greenpoint flag was chosen by a community vote after an open contest, Ms. Kandratino's flag depicted a scene in the East River with the buildings of Greenpoint in silhouette pictured on a white background. And whereas a community celebration will be held on Saturday, June 6, 1987, this ceremony will commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Greenpoint flag. Why don't you take over and read the rest?
Okay. So it is the sense of this assembled bodies that the Greenpoint flag is a living estuary to our American heritage from its broad basin of community support and unfettered exercise, emanate the current of valiant tradition and the irrepressible tide of freedom. And whereas through its long and sustained commitment to the positive and salutary definition of the state of New York and our beloved nation, the community of Greenpoint has so demonstrably labored to preserve, to enhance, and to yet effect that patrimony of freedom which is our American heritage. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this legislative body pause to honor the Greenpoint community in Brooklyn and to most proudly commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Greenpoint flag to be joyously celebrated today, Saturday, June 6, 1987, fully confident that this public ceremony so clearly mirrors an unremitting commitment to the fruition of freedom's promise. And let me digress for a moment and say that it's appropriate that this celebration occur here today below the American flag, behind us a monument commemorating our war dead of World War II and indeed all wars, and in front of us, memory to the martyred hero, Father Jerzy Popieluszko. So it's only appropriate that this ceremony be right in this very spot today, so symbolic of the freedom of this country and of free people throughout the world. So continuing, resolve that a copy of this resolution be presented, and it will be presented now, to Ralph Carano and Anne Kandratino.
State Senator O'Connor, what would you say about Greenpoint's constituents when it comes to Greenpoint pride and spirit?
Oh, there's no equal. I represent a district that's made up parts of 3 boroughs, and I have to say Greenpointers top the list in terms of caring about the neighborhood, getting involved whenever there's an issue, a community issue, or a resident in need. They have a fantastic community newspaper and just a great spirit. They participate in the churches, the veterans organizations, the community groups, the civic associations in a way that you don't see, unfortunately, in some parts of New York City.
What do you think Greenpoint's flag in this rededication ceremony 20 years later is indicative of neighborhood spirit and pride?
Well, very often we forget. We think of tombstones that we put up to remember those who gave their lives. But what about those who gave their heart and soul and love? The media and newspapers have a way of writing a lot of stories about crime, about war, about all the terrible things that happen in a society. This is a beautiful part of what life is all about, and that is remembering, remembering your neighborhood, which is done by this flag and is commemorated by the flag.
Would you feel Greenpoint's flag rededication ceremony today is indicative of what so many other communities can be doing in their community?
Yes, I think that we're the front runners here in Greenpoint. We're probably the only community that I know about that has its own flag and has enough pride and enough sense of involvement in our community to even have a flag.
Thank you, Assemblyman Lintel.
I would now like to call upon our illustrious district leader, Steve Cohn, who will say a few words to the audience. Thank you.
As I said to Ralph before, I wanted to congratulate him for such a beautiful day. We learned this week that 20 years ago, the Beatles gave us Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band album, which was a great significance. But even more so, 20 years ago, for Ann and for Ralph to design a flag for Greenpoint. And I know Congressman Solars, about 6 months or a year ago, introduced a resolution in the House of Congress, which was also passed by the Senate too, commemorating this flag as the first and most unique flag for for Greenpoint. So Ralph and Ann, congratulations.
Thank you, Steve. I would now like to call upon the beautiful district leader, Linda Minucci.
Abe Gurgis said he thought that was Steve Cohen. This one? Okay. It's a beautiful day. It's a good day. It makes Ralph Carano very happy. Ralph is proud of the Greenpoint flag, and he has been for a long time. And it's especially an even better day because Ann is here with us. The Greenpoint Civic Council was very active 20 years ago when it came to originating this flag. And also someone who's not with us today who should be remembered, and that's Lillian Gandolfo. So congratulations, Ralph and Ann, and thank you for having us here today.
Thank you, Linda. We have someone here, Phyllis Yampolska, who would like to say a few words. Phyllis is on her way here to the podium.
Inside that package, it says, on behalf of the people of Greenpoint, Brooklyn, the Greenpoint YMCA and the Association of Williamsburg and Greenpoint Artists, known as Awa Aga, we hereby award to Ralph Carano for his unceasing work for the benefit of our community the status of local hero, June 6, 1987.
Yay! Yay, Ralph! About time, Ralph. Oh, that is.
That's a picture of McCarran Park.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Wow, that's great.
Beautiful.
And the back
Oh,
of it
that's
is
fantastic.
what it says, Ralph.
The Greenpoint Civic Council is the organization which was behind promoting the idea for the Greenpoint flag. Good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us and the people of Greenpoint what brought both of you out to today's flag rededication ceremony?
Well, it was our organization that helped sponsor the Greenpoint flag, and we were very interested in seeing this, in as much as we're very active in the community, and we have been in existence for 25 years, the Greenpoint Civic Council, that is.
We are known as the umbrella organization of Greenpoint. All the organizations come under us, and we help support them all.
And probably one of most important questions I would ask would be, how does it feel to be remembered 20 years later?
It's quite a heady experience. As I said, that I think I'm very much in awe of how much time and preparation everybody took to make this such a momentous occasion. The proclamations, this legislative decree, legislative resolution with my name, and also mentioning that my grandparents had come from Russia and settled in Greenpoint. All of this makes me feel very, very important, as I said, very, very honored that people took the time and put so much effort into making this such a very, very special day.
And thank you very much for having been here 20 years ago and being here again today.
Thank you very much, Rena.
I'd like to say we have another surprise here today, and I don't know how many people realize that the New York State has a flag, and we don't see it flying too much in our community, but it is something that is flown on state buildings, and especially on special holidays. We have the state flag flying all over the state of New York. We have Assemblyman Lenthal here who will introduce us to this great flag.
Thank you, Ralph. I don't think it needs much introduction. I think anyone who went to public school like Mary O'Domerick knows that the state of New York has a motto called Excelsior, which means ever upward. And that is the theme of the state flag and the symbol. So I'm going to open it up anyway, since today is an appropriate day for celebrating not only the Greenpoint flag, but the flag that flies proudly above us, the flag of the United States of America, as well as the flag of the great state of New York. So it's my privilege, and at the request of all the elected officials here, State Senator Connor, Councilman Abe Gurgis, district leaders Steve Cohn and Linda Minucci, and Congressman Steve Solars, who's not here, it's my pleasure to, on their behalf, to present this flag of the state of New York to Ralph Carano, in honor of today's event. Excelsior.
Thank you for this presentation. You know, we have this year the 200th anniversary of the Constitution of the United States. This is a great celebration year for our country. I guess around July 4th, we're going to have a lot of activities. Right now, there are plenty of activities in Philadelphia, which was very important to this country for the 200th anniversary now this year. And the celebrations will go on all year. I see Dr. Nadrowski coming now. That's him. I got good eyesight, no? Okay, the Republican district leader is here, Dr. Leon Nadrowski. We'll wait till he gets here. We'll make him say a few words. For all these Democrats, we have to balance it a little bit.
Well, we heard you're a big operator.
Come on, Doc, say a few words here to the audience.
Say something nice about the Democrats.
Oh, Brother Lally? Where's Brother Lally? Oh, yeah, Brother Lally from the school district. We'll have him say a couple of words also. Doc.
Thank you very much. Sorry I'm a little late. I just want to say that as members of this community, we want to make sure that we have a decent and wonderful place to live in. And I think all of the representatives on the stand, and even my Lorraine Bazinski there, my co-leader, we're working hard to make sure that this happens. I want to thank you, Ralph, for letting me say a few words, and God bless all of you. Have a lovely day.
Okay, Dr. Nadrowski. Now we'll hear a few words from Brother Lally.
Thanks, Ralph. I want to congratulate Ralph Carano on the anniversary of the Greenpoint flag on behalf of the Community School Board in District 14. I would like to congratulate the residents and citizens of Greenpoint. I had the honor, and I started in Greenpoint 30 years ago at St. Anthony's Grammar School as a teacher, as a young teacher. And I am today proud to remain a resident of this garden spot, as we call it, of Greenpoint. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Brother Lally. I understand we have a representative from Congressman Solars, and she would like to say a few words.
Hi, the Congressman couldn't be with us today, but he wanted me to come and present Ralph this Congressional Medal of Merit for all his good work on behalf of Greenpoint.
Hey, bravo. You may become a Democrat.
I am a Democrat. I changed. I switched. I would like to thank the representative from Congressman Solar's office for this great honor. And I'd like to thank all you people here today for participating in this event. And God bless everyone here. Thank you.
Another interesting fact is that the Greenpoint flag has traveled all the way to our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., and was even displayed in front of the White House. Now, the flag is carried by color guards in all local parades and used at community events. The Greenpoint flag has come to symbolize how different our community is from all others in New York City. A neighborhood that is a pleasure to live in, with its many parks and beautiful churches and buildings and many tree-lined streets. We believe the flag symbolizes more than just a banner. It stands for the commitment of a united community working under the banner of the flag. As we move to the future, Greenpoint will grow in the strength of its commitment to the values which make our community a very important part of this, our neighborhoods today.